So East Bengal have finally gotten a new coach, one who has his roots or his footballing ideology and can trace it back to the Barcelona style of play, who's a Spaniard and who in fact has also in recent times actually won the Indian Super League. That being said, it's not quite the coach you were thinking of, because the coach I described could very well be this man, Sergio Lobera. Instead, it is in fact the man on your left, that is of course Carles Cuadart. Now, Lobera was of course the first manager that East Bengal were targeting when they were actually looking to get in a new manager in place of course, Stephen Constantine, whose contract they were not going to review beyond this season. But due to some interesting factors, they were unable to get him and they had to instead get Carles Cuadart. Now, who is Cuadart and why is it that they could not actually get Lobera? Well, that's what we're going to explain to you in this video. So without further ado, let's just check things out. Now, Carles Cuadart is someone who has in fact coached, he's got his start mostly whilst playing or coaching in Barcelona's various youth teams. He did in fact coach a lot of their age group teams, and later on was of course the assistant of Albert Roca, and later he became the head coach of Bengaluru FC and won them their maiden ISL title. His style of football, well, it's rooted in the Barcelona style of play. He plays attacking, possession-based football with plenty of high pressing and an intent to attack the opposition and keep possession as often as possible. It's as close to as Barcelona is within a certain time point as can get. And it's easy to understand why it is that East Bengal went for, of course, Cuadart, because he does have a proven record of playing attractive football and also having won an ISL title with Bengaluru FC in the 2018-19 season. But why is it that they couldn't get Sergio Lobera? Well, that's where things end up getting really interesting, because East Bengal did in fact have a verbal agreement with Sergio Lobera, because they had in fact contacted him and asked him if he would be keen to take over, and he did agree verbally at least to become their coach. But that's the key, it was only verbal, because he had an ironclad contract with Chinese second division club Sichuan Jinyu, and Sichuan Jinyu, once they found out that Lobera wanted to leave, well, they just said, no sir, either you pay a compensation fee, that is East Bengal or whichever club wants him, you pay a compensation fee to us, which was reported to be in the ballpark figure of a few crores, or he's staying put. Well, East Bengal didn't quite have that money, so Lobera stays put. And the key part is that even though there was a verbal agreement of sorts, there really was nothing whatsoever on paper, and that is key. There was no actual contract signed. So East Bengal fans and people around the club were pretty confident the deal was done, but there was no actual deal. Yes, it was agreed on, but there was no paper signed, and that is where the deal fell apart, because Sichuan Jinyu chose not to release Lobera because East Bengal didn't cough up a fee. That being said though, getting someone like Cuadart, not the worst choice in the world. He will of course look to bring in a few players who are familiar with his style of play, maybe a few Spaniards from around the world. That too would possibly help them. But of course, he does have a bit of a job in his hands, because East Bengal have been one of the underachievers really of the ISL since they've joined. They finished like 9th, 11th, 9th. It's not been a good time for one of India's most famous clubs. They would be aspiring to at least make it as far as the playoffs, but haven't come close to that so far. Maybe, just maybe, with a proven ISL league winner at the helm, they could be there next season. Who knows? I think they'd certainly be up for the challenge, but how things go in football this early, you can never really tell. You can let us know in the comments below what you think of Cuadart's appointment as East Bengal manager. And don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and don't forget to download the AajTak app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.